Ole. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Tamar Ilana, and I am here with Curtain Call, Fab Collab's live interview series, which happens every week, either Thursday or Friday at 12 or 2. Hey, Ben, is that you joining us, Ventanas? Ole. Hola, Ilse. And this week we're featuring dancer and all around. Oh, Dennis Fernandez. Hi, guys. Today is featuring Ilse Gudiño, Oles, right? And she's now based in Seville. And we're going to hear all about sort of her life, her art. Maybe she'll dance for us or do a little bit of yoga. Just saying. Just waiting for her to join. I know she's here, but I'll invite her also quickly. There we go. Invite now. Just accept. Just accept your destiny. Hey, Ben. Aw, hi, guys. Oh, Ole!
Hello! How are you?
Long time no see.
Yes.
I'm good.
8 hours.
8 hours?
48, but well, a little bit
48.
more. 2 maybe.
I know. I miss Hercules already. I don't know what to do with my life now without going for coffee there. I'm like, what do I do in the mornings? I'm not sure. I'll
Have
call
coffee.
Ilse.
Yeah.
I did that. It didn't feel right. I was like, I gotta call Ilse and then I'll feel normal again. What's up and welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. What do you want to talk about?
You asked me, Tamar.
No, I know. That's my job. But I'm just going to do a little intro because people also tend to watch these interviews later, and we also put them up on YouTube. So, Ilse Gudiño, welcome. A beautiful dancer, an artist, yoga instructor, and performer, and just like very diverse dancer and beautiful artist that I've learned so much from over the years, and had the privilege of working with for many years. What?
You're so very generous. Thank you.
No,
Thanks for having me. It's
serious.
very exciting.
I'm serious. And she was my teacher when I was little. I'll love you forever, you'll say. Hi, Sylvia. Hi, guys. So why don't you tell us, like, for those who don't know, maybe, where your kind of artistic career began and, like, what got you started? That's what I want to know. I've never even asked you that.
Well, my father used to play the Spanish classical guitar.
What? See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, a long time ago. So, yeah. And,
what?
well, when I was young in Mexico, of course, I was a gymnast. That was really my thing. I did
Forgot about that.
And then I did Mexican folk dancing.
Oh, yeah. Also forgot about that.
I had a very good teacher from the Ballet Nacional. And she really, she was always like, oh, Ilse, you have to join, but, do more classes, et cetera, et cetera. And I was never really a fan of the Mexican folk dancing. I mean, it's beautiful, but it wasn't where I felt,
Yeah.
And I told my father, I was like, no, Dad, I was younger. And he said, oh, you like flamenco. You like something a little bit more oomph.
He knew you well.
So I ended up, years later, I did a bunch of different dances, and then I went to Canada. When I moved to Canada, I met Esmeralda, and then with Esmeralda, I started formally training in flamenco dance.
Oh,
and
so you
I
only
stayed with
started
her.
flamenco in Canada?
Well, no, I did a bit in Mexico, but it was very.
Got it.
Flamenco wise, it was very a blip.
Yeah.
But I did do all other types of dance, contemporary. I did jazz. I did, I grew up in the 80s, so it was, that whatever was in vogue at that time.
Like vogue?
Well, in the jazz scene, I mean, it was like Thriller. I mean, I'm going to date myself, but it was like that really old.
Oh my God, you'll say dancing Thriller. Dennis, you know what has to happen next time on the Alameda?
Anyway, so, yeah. And then...
yeah, hi Carmen. Hey everyone.
Hi.
I'm just saying hi to people.
Yes. And then anyway, so then with Esmeralda, and then I kept going. The story with Esmeralda. I was there for years. Then I started going to Spain, and she was very supportive. Also, Esmeralda was very supportive, and I started apprenticing in the company, and then I became part of the company, and then I kept coming to Spain and going back and forth and bouncing And I grew a lot in doing all those things.
When's the first time you went to Spain?
2000, 99 or 2000.
Yeah. And for those of people who don't know, Esmeralda is a beautiful dancer in Toronto here that a lot of us, you know, started studying with and started our flamenco careers here with. Esmeralda Enrique.
I mean, she's a pillar of flamenco. She's been around, her company has been around for such a long time. And there are many other people who have been around in flamenco, of course, but she's been on her consistency and her.
Totally. And we interviewed her last year about her life, and I learned so much crazy stuff that I had no idea. Yeah. Like, did you know the story of when she like came to Canada? Basically, she was supposed to go to like Japan, I think, and the night before going, her friend who was coming on tour to Canada, and her friend's dad convinced her to come to Canada, and he was like, "You're gonna meet your husband there." And she left the next day and met Sal like 3 days later. Anyway.
I know. The Sal story is great. It's great. It's like, oh
yeah. So that night, like, changed all our lives, kind of.
Yeah, you never know how life is going to change and the things that are going to come up. It's amazing. It's amazing.
What made you come to Canada?
Well, because my parents had split, and my father and my 2 older brothers were living in Canada.
Got it.
And I hadn't seen my dad in many, many years, and I was curious to to come. And so I was originally going to go to Canada for maybe university. You know, study a few years and then go back. And then I ended up staying for, you know, it's like, oh no, 1 more year. Oh no, you know, I have this job. I have this opportunity. I'm going to do this. And then it just kept growing and growing. And then I stayed for a long time.
And well, you said you first went to Spain in like 99, 2000. What you'd already been dancing flamenco here. What was like?
Yes, I had already been dancing, and we had. I was already with the company. I went back to Mexico for a term for like 6 months to Oaxaca. And I was also studying with one of the contemporary dance companies there. And I had met guitarists and some other Mexican flamencos also. And I guess I had 1,000,001 jobs at that time. I was working in the art studio because I graduated from OCA, which is now OCAD. And then I danced as well, and I started to save certain parts of the dance money towards going to Spain, and then it happened quicker than I thought. So
that was like your first impression of flamenco in Spain.
Oh, I always knew that it would be different going. I knew that I arrived in Madrid the first time. I was at Amor de Dios, and I always knew that it would just be, you know, where you breathe it. And it's true. I mean, I walked into the studios and it was like, wow, they're not the Amor de Dios studios that they are now. They were, sorry.
I think I was there at that time.
Well,
or maybe before.
Teachers.
I can't remember anybody.
Well, he passed away a few months ago. And, anyway, and Antonio Reyes.
Wow.
And then I came down. I went around Spain, and then I came down to Sevilla, which is where I am now. And I went to Manolo Marin's studio, which is no longer Manolo Marin's. It's now Manolo Betanzos. And I went to Alicia Marquez was around at that time.
Wow.
Her studio was there. She was still with the Ballet Andaluz. Yeah, so.
But like, what did you think? Like, were you like intimidated? Were you intimidated, or were you like, yeah, I can do this? Or were you like, oh wow?
No, it was
like, what was
intimidating. I mean,
did you blow smoke in everybody's face? You're
the
like,
first. No, I did not do that. I don't do that. That was an accident. Anyway, Juan Amaya was. Sorry. Cool. I was talking about Madrid. So with Cito, yes, he would make everybody do things one by one, and you'd really hear yourself, and it was insane. I mean, it was very different. I had learned choreography. Yeah. You know, I had learned a lot as a dancer, you always learn a lot of choreography. And then here you're learning a completely different set of skills. So it was a learning curve, and it was great. It was amazing. It was amazing.
And I guess we brought it
I
back
mean, it changed my life. I kept coming back, and I kept coming back, and I kept coming back. And now I live here. I brought my daughter and my husband.
Does your daughter do flamenco?
No, unfortunately not. She does not. She does not want to.
What does she think about it?
She thinks it's loud and it's very dramatic.
She's not wrong.
It's unnecessary to have so much drama, I think.
But she's so dramatic.
She just likes the drama for herself. That's what I think.
She's like the definition of drama. She is so flamenco.
It's so dramatic. Oh, yes. So
she doesn't dance?
But so I had her in ballet classes. I had her in flamenco for a while. I had her in sevillanas also. She did sevillanas at school. And she liked it. The out of all of them, I think she liked ballet the most, but she still doesn't want to go back to ballet.
Aww.
And
you think she'll dance flamenco later?
Music now. She's studying music, and she's studying. She's doing. Here they call it gimnasia acrobatica, which is
acrobatics.
Yeah.
I thought I heard robotica. I'm like robotic gymnastics.
No, acrobatica.
Modern day thriller.
They do, they do stuff with in pairs, and they balance. They learn how to balance, and like acro.
I think she'll go to flamenco one day. She won't be able to resist.
I think so
pull.
too. I think so.
How can she resist? It's in her blood.
But it was difficult when she was little. Every time I put flamenco on, she'd say, no.
So cray. I cried when my mom sang too when I was a kid. Look what happened to me.
Okay, all right.
I'm like, Mom, don't sing. I was like, anyway, That's what I'm saying. She'll have no choice. You were dancing with her in the womb. I was there. I know.
Very true. I really expected her to come out with little, stomping her feet and singing or doing something, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see. We'll interview her soon and see where life took her. She's going to be like, I never wanted to do flamenco.
But now.
Be like, I hear your pain. All right. So I just before we go to like how you got to Seville, I want to talk a bit about like your projects in Toronto and like I know some. I kind of want to ask you like how Los Amigos de Pilar was born. What was that name? What was it about? Where that came from?
It was a name. It's very funny because that name came from wanting to have like like putting on a mask in a way. So Pilar was the mask, and it's everybody around Pilar. Not that Pilar was me. She's just this character.
What do you mean putting on a mask?
It was wearing something that's not your everyday. So for me, there was a big point where, at some point, I'm Mexican. I dance flamenco. I lived in Canada. I don't have any. I mean, I'm sure there's Spanish blood in my great grandmother, possibly, but I'm not. It's not. I have relations to other cultures before the Spanish one. And so for me, dancing flamenco was always, people would say, well, why do you dance flamenco? Maybe not in Canada, but in Mexico. Why?
Canada, they also ask.
Right. So why do you dance flamenco? And I always was attracted to it because of the style of singing, the intensity, the passion, the percussion, the individual, like the independence of being this strong female performer, and you're so in sync, you're sharing something with musicians, like it's all happening. I find music to be the motivating factor for me, and I think I probably danced flamenco and I was attracted to it so immediately because of that relationship with musician and dancer. I mean, I guess initially movement, but then for me that relationship became the strongest. It's just awesome to be standing there and hearing it, and then letting communicating. Communicating.
Because in other forms of dance, I guess, like not everyone knows this about flamenco, but like in other forms of dance, I think you're dancing to the music, right? The music is just like happening with or without you. And you're like dancing to it. But in flamenco, it's like, it's almost like playing to you. Well, both ways can happen, right?
I think it's happening both ways. And because when you learn how to, the times I have danced in a tablao session or situation, it's live. It happens live, even though maybe you want some codes and you want your certain, oh, there's a big shadow there. If you want some certain things to happen.
Interesting. Big shadow.
No, sorry, the shadow of my hand.
Who's there? You'll say, who's listening to you?
Who, now I lost my train of thought. But you have, you still have these codes, and everybody knows these codes.
Yeah.
You're either really good at them or halfway, you're getting there, or you're always learning new codes. You're always learning ways. And of course, the more you work with one person, the more familiar you get with that person, or the more, but there are also situations where you just jump in and you're like, boom. I have no idea what's going to happen, but you figure it out. You figure out the certain codes.
Like life.
Exactly. So it seems that in other forms of music, well, you have the set music, right? You have a set piece.
Yeah.
That happens in flamenco too. A million times. I mean, in a company, it happens all the time. You need to be the same, or else everybody's interpreting in their own mind. But the freedom, I think, of flamenco is also that thing that everybody has their own way of feeling it, and you can actually see that. You can see that in a company too. You can see those different ways of feel. I'm sure it exists in all forms of dance, but in flamenco, I just find that it's a little bit more pronounced. Maybe it's because of the intensity of the dance. I don't know.
Also, when you build the dance in flamenco in a company, like I think the dancers are also involved in building the piece. So even though it ends up being set, they were still involved in the creation of the music, if that makes sense, of like the musical trajectory, right? And I don't know if that happens in all others.
Yeah, because if you have a certain piece of footwork that you really love and you want to do it with the guitar, and the guitarist, I mean, you're either listening to the guitarist or they're listening to you, and then you get inspired to write something around that piece of footwork.
So you're more like invested as a dancer because you like care more.
I think it's a really, I find it a really beautiful way to work. And now that I'm working with a different type of music that's not flamenco.
Wait, what?
Well, I've done a couple of projects with a Baroque musician. And she plays, obviously, period music. She plays viola da gamba.
Like for when you're on your period? What is period music?
Baroque music.
I can resist that one. You'll say
1723 to around there. But well, that's a certain piece we're working on right now. But so I listen to different cycles. So I listen to different cycles of music, and then of course there's this, there's a rhythmic cycle, but it goes beyond the rhythmic cycle because there's a whole musical phrasing, and then how does that phrasing work, and where would footwork make sense, or how to investigate movement through these big long cycles, which are not like, if the tempo is a 3/8 or whatever it is, that's the tempo, but you don't work in that just the tempo, you work in a big musical phrase, and they're usually much longer. So
Farruquito once told me that's what he does. He's like, I don't just work in Farruquito. Once told me that's what he does in flamenco. He's like, I don't just work like compás by compás. He's like, I work with an overarching like musical phrase, and it changed the way that I like.
And then it changed how you conceive a piece. Yes, you do that in flamenco. You can do that in flamenco too, or you do that in flamenco. But I guess because flamenco has like, let's say if I was doing a soleá, of course you would do something like that. But if I'm working on a classical piece, a classical music piece, then it has a different feel for me because it doesn't have that feeling of a soleá. It doesn't have that, the temple. I'm not moving the same way. My movement is informed differently by what I'm hearing and what it is, where we're meeting, you know? So it is very different in terms of
I want to see you dance a classical piece.
movement.
Sorry, I just got excited. I'm like, I want to see you dance a classical piece.
Well, I did a video with her.
Can we post it?
Yes, it's La Tournée.
Yeah.
I showed it to you.
Yeah. I want to post a little excerpt. Is that cool if we post a little excerpt of that on here?
Yes. Yeah.
That'd be beautiful.
It's a very short piece that we did on. We did the video for her, and so we are dancing around her. Right? It's very we're the muses. We're in the dark. But so this next piece is not like that at all. The one that we're working on right now.
I can't wait.
Totally different feel.
Are you going to perform it in Seville?
We are looking into it right now because she's releasing her album probably in November.
Cool. I feel like you could dance on that stuff by Rocio Marquez and those two viol de gamba players that she works with.
Well, funny enough.
Wait,
that's her.
What do you mean?
Fami.
Oh yeah.
Viola Gamba, and also Fami Alcai, and Johanna is the woman I work with. Johanna
I forgot about that. They came to Toronto. Yeah.
Yes, and they're both they're Accademia del Piacere. There's a bunch of them. There are 3 viola de gamba. Yes. So anyway. And they did a collaboration with a musician in Montreal.
Yeah. I forget his name, but yeah, they came to Aga Khan. Look, but I just have to pause because Shirley's here and Noelia and Alini, and they're like, it was beautiful and we love you and this is meant to happen in real life. Alini, yes.
I will be there in December.
Oh, okay. What can we do? What dates in December? We have to do something.
December 16th to January 6th.
6th? All right.
Yeah, it's not very long. I won't be there very long. But
I may or may not be there, but you should do a Los Amigos de Pilar reunion.
We'll do a reunion.
So, combino en vez de baile. I know.
No, we have to do something.
So yeah, okay, for those of you just joining, though, I asked her what Los Amigos de Pilar was, and she said it was about a mask, right? I just want to go back to that because that was so cool. I don't know if, like, Shirley and Noelia, we worked with her, but I don't know if we knew that at the time. Maybe they knew and I didn't know.
Well, at one point we were going to use masks, but that came later.
Baile Divino.
Baile Divino. Yes, yeah. Noelia. Baile Divino.
And then you did, I guess that the Los Amigos de Pilar lead into like the masters at your, we have to book you now. Yes, I'm down. Shirley, we're on it.
So we have, yes, then I ended up, yes, I did a master's in dance at York University. And then that led to investigating more of my roots, a little bit more leaning more towards Mexico, and then cantes de vuelta that were documented or not, because there's a lot of debate about these things. Then I did. Then we ended up. Then I had a baby, and then I continued with the company for a bit, and then I came to Spain when she was 3.
Wow. That seems like very fast, but I know so many things happen in between. But
because I did the flamenco festival and I did a few things when she was still up until she was 3. And then every time I would go back, I did another, I danced until 2020 when the pandemic came.
Right.
And then it was shut down for a year or 2. In Canada, it was a bit longer. Here, I continued. I did a master's in art therapy. I opened my studio. I started teaching yoga again. I taught yoga in Toronto for years. So that was always something that I did, and I've always practiced. So I continued doing that, and I opened that here because it was something that could happen. And so in my space, I can also create and have my space to continue working on off hours, because schedules are so weird and I can't always get the time that I want. So it's good to have this space and work. Yeah. And then, so I created, it's a bit holistic. It has I do art and movement therapy. I give massage once in a while, because I don't do that as much. And I teach yoga 5 days a week.
5 days a week? I didn't know it's that much. How many times
And I
a day?
also I teach that and also yoga trapeze for therapeutic purposes. So I have a trapeze set up, and
What is that?
It's not acro yoga. It's a trapeze that's set up so you can, give your spine traction, and it gets to different muscle groups. It gets you, there's exercises designed so you can work and rehabilitate or just get stronger on the trapeze.
Oh. And do you have like a lot of dancer clients? Because it sounds like they need it.
I have had. I think it's an even split. I think dancers always want to come.
Yeah.
Always want to come, but they never have time, or they have time and then they'll stick with it, and then it blows up, and then they come back. And so I do have both.
It's surely. I just saw Daliris. Where? So random.
Where did you see the ladies?
No idea.
The ladies used to come.
Cool. And what made you start that in Seville? Like why not start it here? Why in Seville? I guess to be like immersed in flamenco, or like, do you know what I mean? Like, do you still dance flamenco in Seville?
I do. I sometimes take classes, but to be honest, I'm taking more contemporary.
Really?
Yes. I'm taking contemporary dance classes.
Wow.
I love it. It's great. It's a different way of moving. It's for me, right now, I think I'm very interested in much more in the creative aspect. I think because I've been so limited with time, what is important to me is actually creating something, making something, and presenting it. But it has to be, I have to feel it more as something that's mine. It's not necessarily, I want to prepare another seguidilla, or I want to dance a caña, or it's not like that. I feel like I want to do something that is much more rooted, and so I'm exploring a lot of movement. I actually saw Andres Marin today, and I was telling him about it.
Cool.
We crossed paths. Yes,
that's really awesome. So it's so interesting to me that like all these years of flamenco, like decades, like your whole life, kind of, well, your adult life, I guess, dedicated to flamenco, but then you moved to Seville and you start doing contemporary and you open a yoga studio.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the reality is
it's also
very difficult to work, I mean, initially it was like, why don't you come and dance on the street? And I don't want to.
Yeah.
I think I've done things like that for a long time, and now, I want something else. So I was continuing a path. If I had stayed in Canada, there's certain things that you've built towards, and then you want to continue going in that direction. And so, and then there was a crisis here for a bit. Yeah. And now things are opening up, and there are more opportunities. But now I'm thinking, I also have, a family, and I have a different lifestyle. That's I used to be able to be out late and wake up super early and continue my rhythm.
I can't even do that.
And I can't do that anymore.
Yeah. I hear that. And I don't even have a kid. So, but like, I have like a couple more questions, but like, what is one of, I don't want to say the one, but like one of like your, most favorite kind of accomplishments in dance in your career that stands out, like que destaca right now in your mind? You can change your answer later. I'm just curious. You've done so much, But like, what was like one of your favorite moments?
My favorite moments, probably the flamenco festival at the Sony Center. It's not called the Sony Center anymore.
Yeah, that was very beautiful. I can't remember right now, but
It's changed so many times. I can't.
It was the Hummingbird, and then now it's the whatever.
It used to be the O'Keefe.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
No, maybe it is the Sony. I don't remember. Yeah, I know what you mean. That was very, very beautiful. Oh my God.
Because I felt I was, I worked with you, I worked with Dennis, with Ben, and it was really nice with Ali, with Pam. I liked what I choreographed on them, and I really wanted to take it a different.
Meridian Hall. Thanks, Charles.
Also, I added some contemporary bits to it. Anastasia was there, Sophie.
Oh yeah.
For that show, so it was special. You know, it was
gorgeous. And with just
I
the
felt
trees.
like I was going somewhere. You know, I was pushing somewhere, and I really liked where I was going. And since then, I have had the opportunity to take workshops and continue developing certain things, but I haven't had the time to dedicate that kind of energy to it, to one project.
Got it. So would you say that was a beautiful project? I'm going to find a photo and post it as well. But like, would you say that is sort of like the direction that you want to go back to heading to now when you're saying like you're doing contemporary and you want to create something that's yours?
Yeah, that, except it might have a different slant to it. There's a lot of, I have things written down, I have drawings, but I want the time to do it.
Can you tell us more? I know it's like A's also just joined. I know everybody's dying to know like what you're brewing. Can you tell us like, a little bit more?
So, of course, there's going to be some Mexican song in it.
Ole. Nice.
There's going to be, I like costume, so there will be some costume. And I'm crossing my fingers that I could have some, I'm a real fan of, I like acrobatics. I like circus, right? I like gymnastics. Of course, I'm not saying I'm going to do gymnastics, but I like using the entire space. So, you know.
So you're going to be coming down from the ceiling, is what you're saying? Maybe. That's my drill.
Or flying inside.
Yeah.
Doesn't hurt to dream.
You do have a trapeze.
Huh?
You do have a trapeze in your studio you can practice on. Just saying.
Well, but it's not really it's not a circus.
Okay. I'm getting a little bit of a picture. Will there be flamenco in it?
Yes.
Just checking. I don't know. I don't want to assume anything. You're a wild card. You could do, I don't know what you're going to get up to. But
I mean, if it was a full-length piece, yes.
No, will it be a full-length piece, or are you building a show?
It's different. But if it was the full, in my mind, there's a segment there.
Got it. Is this a piece you're building, or like a full show you're building in your mind?
In my mind, what I told you is a full show, because there's a story attached to it. But a loose abstract narrative. But
yeah, of course. This is very exciting. And what do you think? Like, we won't hold you to this, but what sort of timeline are you envisioning? You know, like in a year, in 2 years, 3 years, in Canada, in Spain, like what? And how can we help? We want to help.
Well, I would like to have. Get away from everything to have a creative time. So I have thought of Banff.
Cool.
I would love to try and get there and have a musician with me, and sort out some solid pieces of it.
That's a great idea. Yes.
So I would like to do that. And then, of course, I can develop certain segments of it in short spurts. So one of the segments could be ready, I would say, even maybe by next fall. Yeah. But the other is the whole thing. The thing is, I think it's going to take a bit longer than that. And of course, if you factor, producing it and etc., that's going to take.
And where do you think you want to debut this piece? In an ideal world, where would your perfect place be? I mean, not piece, show, sorry.
It would be really cool to do it. I mean, ideally, I don't know if I could get it. I would like to do it in Mexico.
That's so funny, because A's just wrote, "It will happen when the time is right. Yes, apply to residencies lots in Mexico too." And then he said Mexico.
Yeah, there is a residency that I was looking at. It's called Poco a Poco. That is very interesting to me.
And I feel like so privileged that we're listening to this right now. Hey guys, I feel like
it was fun. It was fun. Let's see how this all goes.
Well, you have all our love and full 100% support.
Thank you
from everyone here, and anything we can do to help, and even if anything that Fab Club can do, I don't know, when the time comes, anything at all, even if it's just to help push it, or and I don't know, anything at all. You know,
Awesome.
we're here.
Thank
We
you.
love you so much. You're the absolute best, Ilse. Yeah. See, Aid says yes. Shirley says yes. Heidi.
You are the absolute best. You're amazing. Let's all go to Mexico. Yes. That was Noelia. Okay.
Yeah. I think you need your muses dancing around you in Mexico while you create. I'll be the
singers.
nanny.
I need a lot of singers, and you need to brush up on certain pieces.
Ole, we're all there. You should. Are you gonna sing?
Oh, I really want to, Tamar, but I can't. I don't have a great voice. I've tried it.
People say that. It's just technique.
It's a lot of hours. You have to put in the hours.
I'll send you my vocal warm-ups. Just do them in the morning and when you're like, making coffee.
Yes, send me some vocals. I would love to do them. Just try getting this part, a little bit more control.
Do it. Do you go to a couple cante classes? Oh my God, you'd be great. You should totally sing in your show. It's your show. You can do what you like.
I don't know. I know I can't do cante because I've tried. I've taken quite
no. Just be like pop stars.
I understand rhythmically everything. I get it, but the tones. I grew up with a dad singing rancheras, boleros, and all that stuff. I have very major. It's the music that I grew up with is not the ayeos.
Yeah, but just be like pop stars who have like backup singers, and they're singing. And you're like, that person sounds amazing. And there's like you see behind them, there's like 10 singers.
10 singers behind me, and me just pretending that I'm belting it up.
Yeah. Banff with Alejandro Ronceria. Ronceria would be perfect.
Ronceria. I know Alejandro.
There you go.
He's yes.
Oh my God. Okay, well I can't wait. Please come
to Mexico. That's my cousin, Heidi.
Hola, prima.
Hola.
Okay, so I see a residency in Banff. I see some segments developed by next fall. I'll have to follow up and interview you about that in a bit.
I would like to, if I could do another residency in Mexico, and then it's up to getting production and doing
Put some pieces together and then debut it in Mexico. We're going to be there in the front row.
Why wouldn't that be amazing? Let's see what happens.
It can totally happen. Like that. Oh my God. Are you going to ride in side saddle on a horse like they do in Mexico? Like with the long skirts?
I don't ride side saddle.
You could just.
I don't like riding side saddle.
You could have a double.
I know how to. It's very,
Of course you do.
I find it very frou-frou. I'd rather ride my horse.
Ride on a horse. I support. Was there anything that we missed that you want to talk about, or let people know about what's going on in your classes there? How do we find you? How do people come and join your studio?
My classes?
Yeah.
Espacio punto integrarte.
This one. Go follow her.
It's down there. Follow me. I'm posting my November classes next week. Tomorrow. Not next week. Tomorrow.
Nice. Nice. I want to go.
And I guess I have to. I'm learning now that I have to be more active on social media. I'm terrible on social media, so forgive me for that.
You're on here right now. You're doing pretty good.
I'm on here right now, but yes,
Very
I
impressed.
have to.
I think you can just randomly do little videos of yourself here and there. When you feel most and you're like, I don't feel like it, like when drinking water, you're like, too lazy. That's the moment.
These are our words of wisdom from Tamar.
That's what I feel.
I love it. When you feel it's like drinking water, just do it.
Yeah. Manota, I think that's either Alex and or Kristen. Love you guys. All right, well, go follow Ilse. Stay tuned because this is gonna be are you gonna tour this show worldwide? I think so.
Oh, come on, Tamar. Yes, but I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I need some serious funding.
Yeah, we'll help you. We'll help you with that.
If this is going to, especially if we wanted to go worldwide, for sure.
Good thing you're Canadian. Just say. On that note, I want to thank Canada Council for the Arts for supporting this Instagram series called Curtain Call.
It's a great series. Look at you. How many women have you, or how many people have you had on this series?
Oh my God, we need to count, but it's been 2 years in November, weekly. So that's, 52. We've skipped maybe 10 weeks. It's with Leah. Leah co-hosts, so we alternate weeks. And
so let's say it's 100 people at least.
Maybe 90 to 100, 95.
90 to 100. That's amazing.
Yeah, actually, it's crazy if you think about it.
That's amazing.
Pretty awesome. 90 and counting.
I hope I was. Imagine if I was the 100th one, but I don't think I'm the 100th one.
I'm gonna count and I'm gonna tell you.
That would have been good.
Maybe you're like 99.
99, better.
That'd be a cool one. Yeah, no, I'm gonna count. I'm gonna check. Shirley was on here, and if you know anybody who's like you think might be, Farnaz was on here a couple weeks ago. Yeah, everyone is, any women or women identifying people involved in the arts in any way. It can be on stage, off stage, comedian, like singer, dancer, admin, like producer, presenter, programmer.
Well, you have to interview Lisa Pijuan. You know that.
Oh yeah, how have I not interviewed her yet? That's a great one. Yeah, thanks.
She's
for
in
the
Estonia now, so
yeah.
I love you too, Prima.
All of them, and it can be English, French, Spanish, Portuguese, all the languages I speak.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
all languages.
Just hook it up. Oh, I miss you already, Ilse.
I miss you
love
too.
You. Guys, for Shirley and Noelia, we were in Seville, when we were in Seville a couple of days ago, and I wanted to show Demi and Lauren and Ali around town. Ali knows. I'm like, guys, let's do some touristy stuff. Ilse called. She's like, what do you mean? Turn around right now. I'm here at a cafe waiting for you. I was like, guys, I think we have to turn
no around. Touristy stuff. I mean, trying to do touristy things for 1 hour is really not a realistic goal.
Much better spend drinking wine with you.
Much better sitting down and having a civilized drink.
Very civilized. I love you. Thank you so much for making the time to join us.
Thank you for having me. It's great. It's great to see you, and it's great to see you. Everything.
Oh, I love you. See you soon. I hope December.
See you soon. See you soon.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Lovely to see everyone.